Hello, everyone. What day is it? It is Tuesday, May 9th, exiting 2022. One of my goals was, I'm going to dedicate more time to my podcast. And here we are, May of 2023, and I'm doing my first episode. I think it's my first episode. Honestly, I can't even remember. I hope you can hear some of the birds. I'm outside at our new house. So since last year, a lot has changed. We just moved to Wisconsin, Waukesha, Wisconsin, about 2-3 weeks ago. So we no longer live in Atlanta, Georgia. Huge change, obviously, ginormous change. I am pregnant with our second boy. So technically, I don't know how that works, and this is a whole topic for another day, but I'm 23 weeks, supposedly, based on numbers and an estimate. It's crazy. They ask, when was your last period? And you're like, for someone who's never had a regular cycle, I gave them an estimate. They're like, okay, your due date September 2nd. But every time we've gotten either an ultrasound or some type of measurement. So this last one was like a measurement on my stomach. Now he's measuring 26 weeks. I'm like, great. So we have really no idea when he's gonna come. But yeah, there's a lot of changes. I'm kind of laughing right now because there's this white fuzz there. Oh yeah, you can kind of see it. I don't know if it comes from dandelions. I don't know what it comes from, but mindlessly scrolling through Instagram yesterday, there was some guy who was like, oh, I just moved to Wisconsin and these are like the weirdest things. And he talks about how we say bag instead of bag. And one other thing is there's two things. He said there's three things that make up the air: oxygen, something else, which I didn't agree with, but I don't remember what it is. And then the third thing was these white fuzz balls. And I don't know what they are, but they're just everywhere. So just live with it. And I laughed because I have been noticing them. And I'm sure it's just, oh, there goes another one. I don't know what it is, but it is what it is. So for those who might be new, this is Mama Melly, the manager. Started this podcast last year. I think I've only had 4 or 5 episodes. The goal is to really just talk through topics that I've always wanted to touch on that I don't think either get touched on enough, or at least give them a different point of view. I'm Mexican American, so I do consider myself Latina, born and raised in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Now back in Wisconsin, have a 2.5-year-old. Will be 3 in August, and then our second will be born sometime after that. I think very quickly after that. And I like to talk about subjects about being a manager, being in the tech world, being Latina in the tech world, being partially a minority in the tech world. I say partially because even though I am Mexican American, I have grown up enough, I am privileged in having parents who got me through good education, went through college. I don't really talk with an accent, like a Hispanic accent. So I've never been, I think, perceived as Latin or Latina. A lot of people also think I look Indian. So I just think I have gotten through, thankfully, without discrimination of any sort because of that. What else do we talk about? But yeah, anyway, so I wanted to have more episodes. I have different episodes in mind based on certain things that have happened over the last 6-7 months. My company's had 2 layoffs. So I work at Twilio. work for specifically. I'm the director of sales for our segment product in Latin America. Stories on selling to Latin America. But yeah, our company's had 2 layoffs since September of last year. It was crazy. The most recent one here in February was huge. Definitely took a toll on me because the majority of the team that I like hired and like coached and grew over the last year and a half was fired. So yeah, just a lot of things. Obviously, all these personal things. I'm currently on recharge. So at Twilio, which a year ago they released, and now they're taking it away for financial reasons. But anyone at the company who has been here for more than 3 years gets a month off. It's like 20 working days, right? So technically it's a month. I was supposed to take mine in April, and then I wanted to take it Q4 of last year. Got the new position, had a lot to do. I felt guilty, which shouldn't, but I did. And then I was like, okay, I'll take it April, like first month of a new quarter. Best of any time to take it as a sales like leader. Company was like, actually, we're going to do a leadership summit and we're going to do an AE summit. So maybe you shouldn't. I was like, okay, well, I mean, they didn't tell me that. I just was like, FOMO, I feel guilty. I don't want to leave. Like, so I pushed it to May. So I have this month off. So I've been off since May 2nd. Been doing a lot of things. I got my Wisconsin driver's license today. Had an OB appointment yesterday. Where's the FedEx guy going? We do Dinnerly, which is like one of these meal prep things. It's supposed to be like, it's healthy, really good options, and then also like more affordable and more sustainable. But now we live in Wisconsin, the delivery options are limited, and FedEx is supposed to bring it. I'm getting this like weird glare from sitting outside. FedEx truck just drove away. Maybe there'll be more of them. Not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of FedEx. My brain is all over the place. But yeah, I'm on my recharge. We live in a new state. I'm pregnant. I'll go on mat leave come September, maybe last week of August. Yeah, a whole new world. But I'm excited to be quote unquote back. I'm actually going to do a session with a guest tomorrow. She's a manager at Twilio. I'm really excited to talk to her about like different things. And she's also a mom. She's also expecting. So I think that'll be fun to talk about. She just transitioned also from an AE to a manager. So I think going from an individual contributor, which for those who aren't, don't know like the different sales or technology terms, in individual contributor or IC is just a salesperson who's responsible for their own quota. And some of us decide to bite the bullet and become managers. Why? I do not know. I'm just kidding. I do think I know. Yeah, and I want to interview more people. I want to talk to more people. I think it's a little challenging because this is technically like a personal hobby and it focuses on topics I'm passionate about beyond work. And so I think, I'd love to have anybody and everyone on. I also just don't know who's comfortable coming on my podcast because I'm also very vocal about like my views. Like, for example, we've had hundreds of shootings since the beginning of the year, like probably just in the last 2 weeks. I don't know the facts. So tell you right now, I don't know the numbers. But recently we just had the shooting in Texas and the response is no, gun control is still not the answer, which like, it's just idiotic to me. Like we tell them we encourage children to try things before saying no, before quitting, before anything like that. And yet these grown men who have people being murdered, children and adults, and like people just getting slaughtered in their states. Like, well, sending prayers. My thoughts are with these people. Like, that's not the answer. And the people who don't think gun control is the answer, like, how can you say that if we've never tried? And if that's your view on things, how do you raise your children? And if you raise your children by encouraging them to try things, then you're a hypocrite. And I think this day and age, being a hypocrite and shame is something we need more. Like, we need more. We need people to be shamed. I know it sounds bad, right? Like, oh, that's like promoting bullying. No, bullying is looking down upon someone or talking badly about someone for something that they cannot control. Being a hypocrite is something you can control. And oh, there goes the FedEx guy. I hope he came down my street. I don't know at this point. But anyways, it's a crazy world we live in. The abortion stuff continues. The person the other day in Minnesota, or I don't know, one of these states, the lawmaker who's like, didn't care that if a 10-year-old was raped because, a woman's body is meant to bear children. It's like, are you being serious? And the sad thing is, like, most of these people are parents. And like, one can only hope that their children turn out better than them. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of topics, a lot of thoughts, a lot of people I want to interview, a lot of things going on in life. Therapy's been the one thing I continue to make time for almost monthly, and I continue to ensure that I do. I had to find a new therapist, which I'm a little bummed out about, because the therapist I've had for the last year in Georgia has just been an absolute rock star. I mean, she helped me get through a lot. She's probably like really open, but like Clay and I we're having a lot of struggles and challenges. And yeah, just without this therapist and without my therapy, I've just gotten a lot better too. Like, I still am sad about the future just based on things that are going on in our country, but I also am trying to really focus more on being present, not putting so much like weight on work, as much as like work is really important to me. And trying to be like a better mom, wife, all these things. Sad thing is, I still didn't see I didn't say a better me first, but I think we just naturally as women, like, are at a certain age, like, we're taught like, you don't come first. Which reminds me, I'm doing a spa day on Thursday. Very excited about that. Recharge really has got me spending money, which I'm very lucky that I can do. And yeah, I could ramble on. Let's be honest, I could ramble on. But I'll leave it here for now. Like I said, excited to be back, excited to organize my thoughts and get some episodes in line, starting off with my interview tomorrow. And if any of you who are listening, like, have thoughts, want to come on to talk about something, I still want to interview my friend. Shout out to Andrea, Teacher Appreciation Week. Man, teachers honestly are one of the most important jobs that we have in this country, and they get shit. Like, that's the thing that blows my mind. The amount of that thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that goes into like freaking producing bad food, like all just the wrong things get supported in this country. I don't understand it. And I also am like, has it always been like this? And just as a child, like, we're so naive. Oh, and don't get me started on childcare for the working American. Anyways, thank you all for tuning in. Obviously, this is like a super short episode. I don't really have a season 1, but I guess this is going to be a kickoff to season 2. Each year will be a season because we're already halfway through this year. Wild craziness. But yeah, I hope all of you who are listening are doing all right. I'm not going to say like, hang in there, things get better. I mean, life is life. If you live in the United States, I mean, I think there's going to always be something new that's super frustrating, super sad, especially if you have children. But the best we can do is raise our children to be good people and to love others, to fight for what's right, to know that like what's happening in this country is wrong. And then for any of my listeners who are not in the US, thank you again. Super appreciative of you. Mil gracias, obrigada. And I don't know how many listen in Brazil. But yeah, I think every country has their difficulties. This past year was like, what do you call it? Election year. So it's just been a year and everyone's like, don't worry, 2023, it's going to be great. And we're like, here, we're like, oh, is a recession coming? Silicon Valley Bank went under. It's crazy. There's these two birds fighting. It's like, I wonder what birds could fight about. We put 2 bird feeders out so they'd all have enough food. All right, I'm all over the place. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you're able to hear me well. I definitely will do this inside tomorrow, so there's no distractions because clearly I'm distracted out here. And yeah, if you do have a specific topic you'd like my thoughts on, or you want to be interviewed, or you want to join and talk about something, like send me a message via my Instagram page or leave me a comment. I think I know how to read the comments on YouTube, at least. Spotify, I don't think so. But I'm sure I'd figure it out. And most of my listeners actually know me, so just text me. There's a spider web in front of the camera. You can kind of see it. There it is. Yeah. Alrighty. Thanks all for tuning in. Talk to you later.